6 minus 8. So since you are factorizing, you just check the common factors before you check ukuthi khona difference of two squares, sum of two cubes, and all those. So more between these two terms, we've got something that is common, which is 2. Take it out. Here you'll be left with x power 6 minus 4. And then you look at this, it's now a difference of two squares, so just leave the 2 there. And then square root of x to the power 6 is x to the power 3. You just divide this by 2. And then minus 2, the square root of 4, and then it's x power 3 plus 2. And then you are done with that. Now we've got negative x plus into x minus y all to the power of 3 plus y. Whatever you do, since the question said factorize, don't remove the brackets. So you'd rather take this and write it on its own and group these two together. That will give you x minus y cubed minus x plus y. Now you can see that this is very similar to this. The only problem is that the x this side is negative while this side is positive, the y is negative, and this side is positive. And we know that to deal with that, we have to do the switch around. So it's x minus y cubed minus into x minus y. Now if you do check this, you'll see that negative times positive x gives you negative x, negative times negative y gives you positive y. So you haven't changed anything except the signs. And as you can see, this one is the same as this one now, so you can just say x minus y is a common factor, and then you write what you'll be left with on the left hand side and the right hand side. So on the left hand side, you'll be left with x minus y squared, since you had something like that with the cube. So you just took this out as a common factor and you'll be left with these two. And then this side you are left with 1. And then as you can see, again, you've got another difference of two squares. It's everything in this bracket squared minus 1. And these are both perfect squares since this exponent is an even number. So you've got x minus y. Then you deal with this. So the first one is going to have x minus y, and then minus 1, and then the second one x minus y plus 1, and there's nothing you can do after this. First one, it's x power half minus 3 all squared. And then here you just have to remove lama brackets to avula be 2. So it becomes x power half minus 3 x power half minus 3, and then x power half times x power half, the bases are the same, you simply add the exponents. Half plus half is 1, so you've got x power 1. And then x power half multiplied by negative 3, it's minus 3 x power half. Then negative 3 times x power half is the same, negative 3 x power half. Negative 3 times negative 3, positive 9. These are like terms, so it's x minus 6 x power half plus 9. And then that's your answer. Just simplifying, it's x to the power negative 3 divided by x power negative 5 plus into x power negative 2 all to the power negative 1. So these two treat as into nj, whereby it's that over that. So magunjenu, as you simply subtract the exponents. So that means you can say x to the power of negative 3 minus negative 5. Bring down that plus, And then here you can just multiply the exponents. Negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. And then negative times negative is positive, so 5 minus 3. So it's x power 2 plus x power 2, which is the same as 2x power. It's 5 power x plus 1 multiplied by 4 power x all to the power of 3. All that is over 2 to the power of 5x minus 2 multiplied by 10 to the power of x minus 1. So here we only deal with 3 or 4 bases. We just want the bases to be 2, 3, 5, and 7, which are our prime numbers. So the 5 is fine like that. You can just leave it as it is. So it's 5 power x plus 1 multiplied by this one. You can actually write it as 2 power 2 all power x all power 3, and then you just multiply these 2 times 3 or 2 times x and 2x times 3. So you actually have 2 power 6x, and then all that is over, leave the 2 there as it is. 5x minus 2 multiplied by now the 10. Obviously you'll have to change it. Remember, we want 2, 3, 5 and 7 only, so you can just write it as 5 times 2, and then you raise to that x minus 1, and then it's 5 to the power that, 2 to the power that. So to save time, I'm just going to do this side, and then when I come here I just remove the brackets. So it's 5 power x minus 1 multiplied by 2 power x minus 1, and then from there now we can add and subtract our exponents. If the bases are multiplied, we add. If they are divided, we subtract. So this one we have to subtract, so it's this minus that. This one is this minus that. So we've got 5 to the power of x plus 1 minus into this whole thing, x minus 1, and multiplied by the 2 power 6x, leave it as it is. Then you subtract because they are divided, so it's 5x minus 2 minus the x minus 1. And then we've got here it's negative x plus 1. So it's 5 power x plus 1 minus x plus 1. This side 2 power 6x minus 5x plus 2 minus x plus 1. And then now we check. The x and the x are going to subtract each other. Negative 5x minus x is negative 6x. Then it's going to cancel the positive 6x, and then we are left with only these numbers. So it's 5 to the power of 2 multiplied by 2 to the power of 2 plus 1, which is 3. And then from there, this is 25 multiplied by 8. And then 25 times 8, you can now just use your calculator and check the answer. So it's 25 multiplied by 8, it gives you 200. So that means your answer is actually 200. So that's it. Negative 11, all that is over 2x squared minus 5x minus 12 minus 1 all over 4 minus x. But you can see this one is unusual. it's always x plus or minus, so you just have to do a switch around there where you take out negative as a common factor and these two swap around like that, and then this negative affects that negative, it becomes a positive. So yeah, I'll just write it as a positive and write this down there because it's the same thing. Negative times x is negative x, negative times negative 4 is positive 4. So it is basically the same thing. And then now it's negative 11. We have to factorize the denominator there. And then this is where you need the factors of a and c. This is a. Remember, it's written in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. And then the a is 2 and 1. Then the c is 12 and 1, 6 and 2, 3 and 4. And then you can just swap these around. So because we can already see what we actually need, we are going to say we want factors when cross multiplied and subtracted, they give us 5. Then we start with this one and this one. These 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 3 is 3. 8 minus 3 really does give us 5. So that means we are looking for this one and that one. So now these ones are going to have x. This one is not going to have x. 3, 2x with a 3, 1x with a 4. And then we look for the final answers here. The final answer is going to be 3 over 2. Here it's going to be 4. Then this one says our signs are not the same. This one says the bigger one is negative. Between these two, 4 is bigger, so it's negative. And then let me just remove these guys now. We don't need them anymore. Then from there we say plus 1 over x minus 4. Then you can see here we've got x minus 4, which is the same thing. We just have to find the LCD. So it's x minus 4 and 2x plus 3. So this is our LCD because you can divide this by this, or you can divide this by this and this by that. So now we can just find the, or write the LCD. So it's 2x plus 3, x minus 4. Then we say this divided by this, the answer is 1. Then 1 times negative 11, negative 11. Bring down the plus. This divided by that, this cancels that, we are left with that, and then we say times 1. So it's 2x plus 3 times 1 comes back as it is. So it's negative 11 plus 2x plus 3 all over 2x plus 3 into x minus 4. Then you collect the like terms in the numerator. It's 2x minus 9. Is it 9? No, it's 8. Yeah, it's 8. So minus 8, all that is over 2x plus 3, x minus 4. Then you check whether that can be factorized there. Okay, we've got 2 into x minus 4, all that is over 2x plus 3, x minus 4. And you can cancel this because these two are multiplied. Then your answer is 2 over 2x plus 3. Now do not listen to this thing that says you must cancel these two. You can't do that because these are added. So this is your answer. 6x squared plus dx minus 10. And we know that this actually has one of the factors as 3x plus 2. And then we can write the other one in terms of variables like that, because we do know that we definitely have another bracket there with a binomial. And then now we check. We know that if we multiply this and that, we are definitely going to get that, the squared. And then if we multiply this and that, we are definitely going to get that. So we can multiply them and see what we are going to get, and maybe equate the coefficients and solve. So 3x times ax, it will give us 3ax squared. And then this is the same as what? It's the same as 6x squared. And then we can take this and equate to that and solve for a. So 3a is equals to 6 divided by 3 divided by 3. A is equals to 2. And then this one, 2 times b is 2b, is equals to negative 10. And then you divide by 2, you divide by 2, your b is equals to negative 5. So you can just substitute the value of a and the value of b there. Then you'll be having 3x plus 2. And then this side is 2x minus 5. Then now you can remove the brackets and see what the value will be there with this d. 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times negative 5 is negative 15x. 2 times 2x is plus 4x. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Then these are like terms, you can add them. 6x squared minus 11x minus 10. And then you can see where there's d, you've got what? You've got negative 11. So that means your d is equals to negative 11. And that's it. We are done with question 1. That's 3x minus 1 x plus 2 equals 0. So if it's like this, you can see that you've got an equal to 0 there, so that means it's already factorized. Now, when you have 0 and this says to you, this is actually multiplied by this. This is what the brackets actually mean. It's this times that. So the only time we know the properties of 0 is you cannot multiply two non-zero numbers and get a 0. So anything multiplied by 0, the answer becomes 0. So that means if we got 0 when we multiplied these two, that means this one is 0 or this one is 0. So we know that one of them is definitely 0. So it's 3x minus 1 equals 0, or x plus 2 equals 0. So you only do this if you've got a 0 on the other side of the equal sign. And then we go to the next step. It's 3x. You just transpose the 1 to that side and divide by 3. And then your x is 1 over 3. Then this one is x is equals to negative 2. 3 power x minus 2 times 3 power x minus 1 equals 3. Now with this one, you just have to make sure the first thing to never multiply these two. So just leave them as they are, you'll deal with them as they are. And then you just separate these exponents. Remember, when you multiply and the base are the same, you add the exponents. So just write this with its own base and this one with its own base. So it's 3 power x minus 2 times 3 power x times 3 power negative 1 is equals to 3. And then between this term and this term, you've got 3 power x as a common factor, so you just take it out. 3 power x, here you are left with 1 minus, here you will be left with 2 times 1 over 3, which is the same as 3 power negative 1. And all this is equals to 3. and now you've got 3 power x into 1 minus, let's just say this is 2 over 3, instead of repeating it. So it's 2 over 3, and then all this is equals to 3, and then we've got 3 power x into, now we deal with this one. We know that when we deal with that one, we are going to find that this one is going to be 3 over 3, and then it's 3 minus 2, because we just want the denominators to be the same, so that we simply add or subtract the numerators. 3 minus 2 is 1, so let me write 1 over, the denominator is 3, so 1 over 3, and all that is equals to 3. And then to get rid of this 1 over 3, you can just say you multiply both sides by the reciprocal, which in this case is going to be 3 over 1. 3 over 1, and then this one cancels that one, because they are the same term since they are separated by multiplication. We are left with 3 power x this side, and then this side we've got 9, 3 times 3, and then you just say 3 power x is equals to 3 power 2, therefore x is equals to 2, because the bases are the same, so that means that the exponents are equal. Means that you cannot do like cross multiplying, because you've got two sides to that inequality, so you wouldn't know where the other side is going to be and where the other one is going to be. Now you just make sure that you've got the same denominator both sides, and then you remove the denominators. So you're going to start by transposing the one to that side and also to that side, and that will leave you with negative 2x over 3 here. And then it's greater than or equals to, this one becomes negative 1, so negative 1 minus 1, negative 2, 5 minus 1 is 4. Then from there you just make sure that you've got over 3 this side, you've got over 3 here already, and then you make sure that you've got an over 3 here. So 1 goes how many times into 3? 3. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. 1 goes how many times into 3? 3. 3 times 4 is 12. And from there, the denominators are the same, you can simply drop them. So you are left with negative 2x is greater or equals to negative 6, but less than 12. Then from there, you divide by negative 2 throughout. And on this side, negative 2. And then you've got x is, remember when you divide with a negative number, the signs change. So 12 divided by negative 2, it gives you negative 6. And then this side you've got positive 3. Then you can just write this with the smaller one on the left hand side. So it's x is greater than negative 6, but less than 3. And then write down the number of integers that will satisfy the equation. So x is greater than negative 6, it's negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. But now you cannot include the 3 because it's not or equals to, or there is an or equal to the, so you include that. You don't include the negative 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's going to be 9 here. 9 integers satisfy the inequality. 4. That's our equation 1. The second one is x over 5 plus y over 2 equals 5. Then you can see this one. You should not make this your equation 2. Instead, find the LCD and multiply with it throughout. So you've got 2, 5, and 1 as your denominators. So the LCD is definitely going to be 10. So just multiply by 10 both sides. So you say this side multiplied by 10, this side multiplied by 10. Then from the 10 over 5 is 2, 2 times x is 2x. 10 over 2, 5 times y is 5y. All this is equals to 10 times 5 is 50. And then from equation 1, I think we can actually agree that it's easy to make x the subject of the formula. Then you take that, you substitute here, and then you are done with that. So always remember to tell us everything that you do. So from equation 1, x is equals to 4 plus y. So you just transposed the y to that side, it changed the sign. Then where there's x this side, you can just substitute this because that is actually the same as x. So you say substitute x by 4 plus y into equation 2. So you've got 2 into 4 plus y plus 5y equals 50. So where there was an x, you just substituted that. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 2y plus 5y equals 50. And then here you've got 7y equals 50 minus 8. So you just transpose the 8 to that side. 7y is equals to 42, and then you divide by 7 both sides. Then y is equals to, you can just punch that on your calculator, 42 divided by 7, answer is 6. So y is equals to 6, and then now you can solve for x just by substituting the y there. So the x is equals to 4 plus 6, which is the same as 10. So that means your x and y are, your x is 10, your y is 6. So these are the only two numbers or digits that satisfy both these equations, or those that make them to be true.